Good evening. This is a movement and meditation class, and we will be needing some props for tonight. So if you have yoga blocks, 2 yoga blocks would be nice. If you do not have them, then a couple of towels that you can fold up really firmly to get them to be, this kind of size, or blankets that you can roll up firmly. We'll be using them for a resting pose at the end of our movement practice, where we'll be laying, like we're going to be laying down on our bellies with support for our shoulders and just laying down. So the block will be supporting our shoulders. It feels really good if you've got the firmness of a block, but a firmly rolled towel can work also for that. So we've got that. And then I've also got a strap here. You can grab a belt, a tie, a scarf, even just a hand towel for some stretching of our hamstrings. But we're going to start with movement, and then we will sit and meditate. Our theme this month is faith. And so we're actually going to pull in some scriptures as we meditate at the end. But, faith isn't certainty. And we've talked about that faith is confidence amid uncertainty. It's being okay with not knowing and trusting in divine goodness, in divine care, and having confidence in that. And then we get evidence, right? And that strengthens our faith. But there's also ingredients of our asking, seeking, right? Ask, seeking, and knocking. And so I invite you just to start pondering the power of questions as we begin our practice and move. And then for our meditation practice, I'm going to teach a new practice that I've been playing with called divine reading. It's a contemplative Christian practice, but we'll go through and read some verses of scripture, and then I want you to really focus on a phrase, and then we'll just rest in that energy that creates in our bodies. So that's what's going to happen in this practice today. So just find a comfortable seat. We'll tune into our breath. We'll move. We'll do some holds and some stretching, kind of a chill, wind down kind of movement practice, and then we'll sit. Just bring your awareness to your breath in and out of your nose. See if you can let your breath come in and out of your nose. Notice where it goes in your body, how deeply it wants to go. How expansive it can be through your rib cage. And see if you can feel that breath the whole length of your spine. And you might even feel yourself get a little taller with an inhale. And just settle in with an exhale. Just kind of check in with the energy this day has created in your body. Notice your face, your jaw, your throat, neck, shoulders. Notice what's happening in your pelvis, your belly. We'll just find some movement in our neck. Just gently drop your chin down. And then drop an ear to shoulder. And then just rock the other way. Just back and forth. After you've gone back and forth a couple of times, you can start to let those get a little bit bigger. You can go one direction a couple of times. And then switch. And then just pause there and release your fingers in front of you and just push your palms away. Really round your upper spine, pull your shoulder blades apart. You can tuck your tailbone underneath you. And then sit up tall. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back. And inhale, open your heart here. And release your hands. Interlace them in front of you the awkward way and push your palms away. And inhale. Actually, just push. Find that stretch between your shoulder blades. Let your spine round. You can even let your lower back flex and round forward. And then inhale, reach arms high. And see if you, as you reach your arms up, if you can drop those lower front ribs down. And then release your hands behind you and interlace the awkward way behind you. And open your heart there. Release your hands. And then just take a twist over to your left. Right hand outside that left knee. Left hand behind you. And look back over your back shoulder and then turn to look over your front shoulder. And just back and forth here. Back and front. And back and front. And then when you're looking over that front shoulder, look down at your knee, push into your left hand behind you. And then you can kind of nod your chin here. And just feel the length on the left side of your neck. Lift your head, untwist your gaze, untwist your body, and just let yourself find a forward fold here over those crossed legs. Walk your hands in, just cross your legs the other way and twist to your right. Left hand outside that right knee. You ground those right fingertips behind you. Look over that right shoulder. And then over your left shoulder. And back. And forth. Look back. And next time you're looking forward, really ground down through that back hand, and you can find little nods of your chin. And then unwind your head, unwind your spine, rock forward onto hands and knees. If you are sitting on something, you can move that out of the way. Just find a couple of rounds of cat and cow. Let your belly drop. And then let your spine round. And maybe reverse your breath this time. So exhale. as you lift your heart and let your belly drop. And inhale as you push the floor away and let your rib cage expand. And just try it. If you're used to the opposite way, it can be good to mix things up. We'll just do one more. And then take your right foot and just step it outside your right hand and come up into a low lunge, just a really easy low lunge. And take your left arm up by your ear and just find big arm circles back and forth. Swimming through all the range of motion you can. We'll just do one more here. And like we did when we were seated, interlace your fingers and push your palms away. Really let your spine run. And you can even tuck your pelvis underneath you here. And then inhale, reach high. Release that right hand, reach for your left thigh and just find a side bend through that whole left side. Side bend over to your right. Right hand just kind of crosses across your back. And then release your hands down and step that right foot back. Lift your knees up and back, hips lift and find a downward dog and just kind of notice the difference from one side to the other here. And then bring your knees back down, step your left foot outside your left hand. Come on up to that kneeling lunge and take those right arm circles. Just lead with your thumb and then lead with your pinky. And on your way back, lead with your thumb, lead with your pinky. So try to keep your whole rib cage pointing forward. So you're moving your shoulder and all that space around your shoulder joint, not your rib cage. And after you've done that, back and forth twice, interlace your fingers, push your palms away, really spread your shoulder blades apart on your back. You can round, tuck your pelvis under, and then inhale to reach high. Drop those front low ribs down as you reach your arms up. And then release that left hand toward your right thigh and find a side bend over to your left. Did I say left hand to right thigh? Is that what I said? Just get a big side stretch on that right side. And then come back up, hands down. Step back to your table, tuck your toes, and find a downward facing dog. You can pedal out as much as you need to here. And then take a walk to the top of your mat. Find your parallel feet and then inhale, halfway lift, look forward. Exhale to fold. Inhale yourself all the way to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're going to go through 2 lunging salutations, and then we'll lay around. So exhale, hands by your sides. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, left foot back into a lunge. Exhale, left knee down. And inhale to reach high. So find some engagement in that back left leg and feel like you're dragging your right heel toward your bum. Exhale, hands down. Inhale to table or plank. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just one round of breath here. In and out. Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Take a walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way to standing reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back. Exhale, right knee down. Feel like you're squeezing your knee and your heel toward each other as you inhale and reach high. Exhale, hands down. Inhale to table or plank. Exhale, lower to your belly. Untuck your toes. Inhale, really draw your shoulder blades together. Open the front of your body in cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. And we'll just hold here for a few breaths. And just let this feel like a place to lengthen and check in. And remember the power of questions. That there are some things that are not open to us until we ask. And we often don't get the help we need until we ask. And go ahead and bring your knees to the floor. We're going to do some yin poses where we'll hold and relax for a little bit. How are we doing on time? Doing okay. So this first one is a shoulder opener. So you're going to take your right hand behind your back, but we'll be laying down. So you get to decide how far up your back, the back of this hand will go. So your palm will be on the floor. The back of your hand will be on your back. And you just listen to your shoulder as to what feels best, okay? So we'll roll down onto your back. We'll start with our right side. Just thread that right forearm underneath your lower back. And that may be a good place for you. Just kind of listen to what's happening in this right shoulder. Maybe you sneak that hand up closer to your shoulder blade. You can lengthen that left arm up. You could bend that left hand. I like to drape it over my body and just kind of drape that hand toward my right shoulder. And then after you're here for a little bit, you could drop your knees over to the right, but only do that if it feels okay in your shoulder. And then just let yourself mold to the shape. Let your breath really smooth and calm. And face soft. And so you can inhale to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. It can be as long as 8. Let's just take one more breath here. If your knees are over to the side, just bring your knees back to center. Just gently roll to your left a little bit and get that right arm out from underneath you. And we're going to roll onto our bellies and stretch the front of that right shoulder. So you've got a couple of options here. You can have your arms straight out to the right, and this will be a little less intense, or you can bend that right elbow at a 90-degree angle. Okay, I'm gonna bring my right cheek to the floor and then bring my left hand by my chest and just roll onto my right hip any amount. And I'm letting that right shoulder kind of drop toward the floor, and maybe you can even take those left toes behind you. Maybe even that left foot goes flat on the floor. My shoulder doesn't want my foot to go flat on the floor, but just kind of listen to what that shoulder has available. And elbow bent is a little more intense than arm straight. But again, just let your breath lengthen. Let your exhale get long. Notice if you're clenching against sensation anywhere. And see if you can relax and let go a little more. And notice that you've got some intensity happening in that right shoulder, and I just naturally want to kind of fight it. Just use your breath to tell your body you're safe. And let your tissues just adapt to the shape. Relax your neck. And then you can roll yourself back onto your belly. And take that right arm back behind you, and you can bring your left hand on your forehead. So right hand is alongside your right hip, palm face up. And just pause for a second. And then we'll come back onto our backs and do the second side. So just bend both knees. And you'll thread your left arm underneath your lower back, palm face down. And then you get to decide where it goes, whether you bring that hand up closer toward your shoulder blade or you just keep that hand by your lower back. You can reach your right arm up alongside your ear. You could bend that elbow and bring your hand behind your head. You can drape your arm across and just let your hand kind of rest by your right shoulder. You choose what feels good for that right shoulder. And after you've settled, if it feels okay in that left shoulder, you can drop your knees over to the left. And inhale to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can just count your own rhythm. Just letting those exhales be twice as long as your inhale. Letting your tissues adapt to this shape. Your neck, your jaw are soft, relaxed. Let's just take 2 more breaths here. And then gently bring your knees up. Rock to your right so you can get that left arm out. And then we'll roll onto our bellies again. And this time, left arm goes straight or to a 90-degree angle. Okay, you choose. So if your elbow's bent, it's the same height as your shoulder. And tent those right fingertips next to your chest on that right side. And then roll onto that left hip. Maybe your left toes come to the floor behind you. Maybe you're just here and you're just rolling a little bit. And let that left shoulder relax down. Notice where you're clenching against any sensation and see if you can breathe some space. Relax your jaw and your neck. My hair is tickling me. And lengthen those exhales. Just breathe 2 more breaths into that left shoulder. And then come back onto your belly. Right hand under your forehead and just let that left hand, palm face up, come back by your hip. And just kind of let yourself melt here. Recalibrate that left shoulder. And bring your right hand forward under your shoulder, left hand under your shoulder. Just push yourself up, coming onto hands and knees. Then we'll step our right foot forward outside of our hands for a lizard lunge. So you can angle those right toes out to the right. Both hands are inside. You can tuck those back toes or untuck them. Sway your hips from side to side a little bit as we start to settle in here. And then maybe you want to lower down. This may be a good place to have a block or a stool. You can bring your forearms to your block, or you can bring them all the way down to the floor. You just kind of listen to your hip, your lower back. I've been doing a lot of stand-up paddleboarding lately, and I am super tight from all of that. I guess just the standing, but having to balance and stabilize. This feels really good. Just notice how this feels in your body. Notice where the most intense sensation is and see if you can just breathe space around that. And it may be in a different place from day to day, even in the same position. But the curiosity and awareness just helps you become more aware and in tune and attached to your body. And just one more round of breath here. And then come back up onto your hands if you lowered down. And just take that right leg back into your table. And then we'll take the right arm and just thread it underneath your left armpit and bring the right side of your shoulder, right side of your head to the floor. And then you can reach your left fingertips long overhead and then over to the right just a little bit. And find some length through that left side. And then kind of lean to your right, lean back. Find some space by your right shoulder blade. And just one more breath. And then plant your left hand in front of your face. Use your arm strength to come on up and step your left foot outside your left hand. And we'll find that lizard lunge here. So you can angle those left toes out to the left just a little bit. Sway your hips. Kind of find some circles. And find the depth that feels good. You can have your back toes tucked or untucked. And find some expansiveness in your breath in a way that's just supportive for you. And once you've kind of settled here, you can lower down. Forearms to a stool, to a block, to the floor. And think of finding some length, even though, this is a forward fold. Think of finding length through the front of your heart. And see if you can find those big full inhales and long exhales. And 4 counts in, and 6 or 8 counts out. Just let yourself enjoy the stillness. And sometimes staying is the hardest thing. Sometimes the stillness is the hardest thing we do. And just know that it doesn't last forever. See if you can let yourself just stay. Come back onto your hands if you're down on your forearms. Sneak that left leg back into your table, hands and knees, and we'll thread the left arm underneath that right armpit, left side of the shoulders, left side of your face to the floor. Find that twist, and then you can reach your right arm long and then kind of creep those right fingertips over to your left. Let your heart open, lengthen through that right side. And then kind of lean back and let yourself get some space by that left shoulder blade. A hand in front of your face. Push yourself back up. Cross your ankles. And we'll come onto our backs. So just find a seat, scoot yourself to the center of your space, and grab your strap. So you've got it when you lay down. Bend both knees and just bring your right knee in to your strap. Just loop it around the ball of your foot and find the natural curves of your spine. So feel the back of your head on the floor and then feel the space under your neck. Let your shoulders, let your arms be straight and reach up your strap as far as you can. And then just let your shoulders be heavy in their sockets. Okay, so you're not using a whole lot of tension to grip onto the strap. A lot of times if we let our hands, like our elbows bend, then we're just bringing a whole lot of tension. So let your arms be straight and just use enough effort to grip your strap that you're holding it, and then let your arms just hang heavy. So your whole rib cage on the floor, and then find that natural space underneath your lower back, just a little tiny space. It does not need to be big. And you can experiment with lengthening your left leg on the floor. Now, if you do that, and it really pushes your lumbar curve, your lower back curve into the floor, it kind of lifts your tailbone up off the floor, then leave your knee bent. Just let yourself feel the back of your pelvis on the floor, little space underneath your lower back. Even your lowest ribs are on the floor, your whole rib cage on the floor. Shoulders are relaxed, space under your neck, back of your head on the floor. And just breathe length into this right leg. And after a few breaths, you may creep your hands a little higher on your strap, maintaining those natural curves of your spine. And find those really long exhales. Just take one more long breath in this position. And we're really just trying to relax some length into those tissues. Bring both straps into your right hand, and then you can let those right toes turn slightly to the right, and then let that leg drop out to the right, but your left hip staying on the floor, so you're not rolling onto your right side. You're just opening. And if you're feeling this in your inner right knee, then back out of it. Just lengthen the strap, the grip on your strap, or find a little bend in your knee. You just want to feel this in your right inner thigh. We'll just be here for one more breath in this spot. And bring it up. And then switch your strap into your left hand. Now we're going to keep both hips on the floor. We're just going to draw this foot over the left half of our body. Okay, but you're not twisting, you're not rocking up. You're just going to keep your pelvis grounded and just bring this leg just slightly over to the left. And you can experiment. You might feel this more in your lower leg. You might feel it more in your thigh, your IT band. Right, anywhere is the right place that your body needs to feel it. And see if you can find that long exhale. And relax your left arm. Just kind of let the weight of that arm hold the strap. And just one more breath here and we'll switch sides. And come back up through center. Just bend that knee, release your strap, foot to the floor, and then bring that left knee in toward your chest and loop your strap over that ball of your left foot. And then let your arms be straight. Reach up your strap as far as you can with a straight left leg. And then just straight arms relax and kind of hang into your shoulder sockets. And again, find those natural curves of your spine. Feel the back of your head, the back of your rib cage, and the back of your pelvis on the floor. And if you can keep those natural curves, you can lengthen that right leg on the floor. If you find that that pushes your lower back down and kind of lifts your tailbone up, just keep that knee bent. Okay, we're more interested in the integrity of your spine than looking like you're flexible. And after a couple of breaths, maybe you can creep those hands up your strap a little further. We're not really looking for like your deepest stretch here. We're looking for some sensation that you can relax into and let your tissues adapt. So long exhales. Relaxed arms. A relaxed face, jaw, throat, eyes, and forehead. And space and length through the whole back line of that left leg. And then bring both straps into your left hand. Just slight external rotation of that left leg and let it drop out to the left, but keeping this right hip on the floor. My left hand is cramping, holding onto my strap. Enjoy your breath. And come back up to center. And then we'll just find that really tiny twist. So you're just going to bring that left foot over the right half of your body, but keeping the whole back of your pelvis on the floor. And you just kind of decide where it feels useful for you. You may feel it in your IT band, the upper half of that left leg. You may just feel it in your outer shin and calf, lower leg. Whatever you feel is the right thing to feel. And then come back up to center. Release your strap. Bend both knees. We're just going to roll over and just take a few breaths in our supported forward laying. So I'm going to set my blocks up like this. So they're parallel. And I'm going to use my blocks to support my shoulders. Now, if you don't have blocks, you can bring firm rolled towels under your shoulders. We're just looking at supporting the fronts of your upper arms and shoulders, and then letting your head hang down toward the floor. Palms face up. And then just kind of let your chest hammock down. If you feel like you need something under your head also, you could find a folded blanket or something for that. If you don't have any props, you can just lay on your belly and make a pillow for your forehead with your hands. And see if you can get yourself set up. And then just completely relax into the support. Relax your hands. Relax your neck. Let your collarbones just feel like they're spreading wide. I'm just going to be here for 3 more breaths. If you're doing this with the recording later, you can always just pause and stay here longer. And after a really long exhale, just lift your head. You can bend through your elbows, push yourself up, and get yourself ready for a meditation. If you've got a folded blanket or a cushion or a block to sit on, get that ready. I'm going to sit on a block today. And for today's practice, we'll work with the contemplative practice called divine reading, or it's lectio divino. And so first, we just read. I'll read a verse of scripture, and I'll read it through it twice. I want you to notice what stands out to you. A simple phrase. And then you'll use that to ponder for a minute. Just noticing what questions that phrase brings up for you. And then we will just sit quietly with that light, with that feeling of those words. So I'm actually going to link two things together. The first is from Matthew chapter 7, verse 7 and 8. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. So that's to everyone. And then we're going to move to James chapter 1, verses 5 through 8. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So, what are these verses teaching us about faith? Let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. Return back to Matthew. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. James. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. And let yourself just pick one phrase. And connect that phrase with your breath. And let yourself ask questions. What does it mean? What does that mean for you? How can you see it differently? Just let yourself feel open and resonant with that phrase, with those words. Notice what that creates in your body. And for the next 5 minutes, just let go of the thoughts, but keep that feeling. Rest in that feeling. Notice the quality of that inner light. Let all your attention and awareness rest there. If you notice your mind starting to wander, you notice that, just bring yourself back. And you can use just one word: rest, or here, or peace. Let yourself rest in that feeling. You notice you need to bring your attention back. Just use that one word, by letting yourself just sit in the presence of the light. And take a deep breath. I hope you have a lovely evening. That you can continue to ponder the power of questions. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.